Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Flame Emperor episode number 470 based on novel. So let's start. In an instant, in the entire poison god's tomb, the body of the little medical fairy was empty, and then circles of green poisonous mist were continuously discharged from his body. The poison god cauldron below was completely absorbed. As time went by, the fluctuation of the poisonous mist became weaker and weaker, and the entire space became quiet, but the little doctor's eyes were slightly opened, like a living dead person, and there was a rare green color in the eyes. The emerald green eyes do not have any features, but when Ding Qing looks at it, a sense of fear emerges from the heart, and even the soul will tremble for it. The power of the holy pill of 10,000 poisons, whether it is soul or spiritual power, will probably be corroded cleanly under its urging. It should be fine. After a long time, Xiao Yan sighed in relief after confirming again and again that Xiao Yisheng had used the power of the reincarnation seal to fuse the poison pill. At this moment, the poisonous pill in Xiao Yixian's body bloomed with a dazzling poisonous mist, surging like a heart, and suddenly bursts of extremely tyrannical poisonous mist surged out, nourishing and strengthening the delicate body of Xiao Yixian. Success. Seeing this, Zuna smiled brighter than anyone else. First, the follow-up matters of Xiao Yixian have been settled, which solved Xiao Yang's worries, and secondly, he is happy for Xiao Yixian from the bottom of his heart. Since it's successful, then this poison god cauldron can't be wasted in vain. Xiao Yang smiled heartily, but with his sense of smell, it was naturally not difficult to find that the little medical immortal who devoured the poison pill now, the aura in his body was less than that of some 4 or 5-star fighting immortals. This kind of increase is really scary. Poison god cauldron, I can't move for the time being. Little Doctor Immortal got up, and there was a faint green halo around her body, and that halo was filled with a deadly and gloomy aura. Why is this? Xiao Yang said with some doubts, although the poison god cauldron is very precious, if it stays here, it may be a big hidden danger in the future. Poison god cauldron is an extremely powerful artifact. If you want to control it by yourself, you need to conduct some specific assessments. As of now, I don't have the strength to completely control it, and because of the special nature of the poison god cauldron, this divine weapon can only be controlled by those who practice poison art, and can only be assessed. If it is forcibly assessed by some strong people who have not yet practiced poison art, the poison god cauldron will extract all their life and feed it back to itself. Xiao Yixian shook his head and explained the stakes. The control of the reincarnation seal and the poison pill made Xiao Yixian know these things very well. If you can't control it, it's difficult to put this thing here and it's not safe. With the background of the poison god palace, if this thing is discovered, it will definitely be a storm. Xiao Yang said in a deep voice, the word divine weapon, in the reincarnation level, was almost second only to the god-level fighting skills, and its value was self-evident. If it can't fall into their hands, they have to think of a surefire way to seal the divine weapon, so as not to fall into the hands of some unscrupulous people. Although I can't control it, it's not difficult to take it away. Of course, there is one more thing that needs to be done before taking it away. After Xiao Yixian finished speaking, the green death energy all over his body suddenly became boiling, and then he looked at the endless void in the distance, and the implication was very obvious. The spirit of poison god cauldron? Seeing the appearance of the little doctor fairy, Zuna opened her mouth slightly. The strength of the spirit of poison god cauldron is too tyrannical. Even if I am demonized, I have no confidence that I can defeat it. At this moment, Xiao Yang's face couldn't help showing a dignified expression. The power of the spirit of the poison god cauldron has reached the true 5-fold reincarnation level. If we fight alone, we have no chance of winning. But it is always just a cauldron spirit. Senior Xuanhe has already prepared for it. This is the son of poison. Just let him come into contact with the body of the spirit of poison god cauldron. All his pride will naturally be self-defeating. While speaking, a green seed gushed out from the little doctor's immortal jade hand, and there was an endless concentration of sinister poisonous gas in it. This is the power of the poison god, which can isolate most of Dingling's venom attack. With it, as long as we don't confront Dingling's strongest attack, we can keep us safe. When talking at Du, circles of green energy wrapped around the skin of Xiao Yang and the others, forming a seemingly transparent energy conjunctiva. One after another, the things that dealt with Dingling were poured out of Xiao Yixian's body and distributed to everyone, and then the 3 of them didn't stop at all, and went straight across the void and returned to the original path. This time, even if you measure this cauldron, you can't escape it. On the other side, the battle is clearly already a winner and a loser. In the wooden house in the center of the courtyard surrounded by the barrier, There is a main seat, and Dingling, who occupies the body of the poisonous Xuanhe, is sitting in it at this time, and his eyes are indifferently scanning the two people who are bound on the ground. Hateful. Five-legged golden crow and poisoned soul child looked at each other, and then murmured coldly. After Xiao Yang and the others left, the two of them were defeated by Dingling, but it was strange that after Dingling defeated them, they did not kill them immediately, but instead killed them. Being imprisoned, he continued to curse and tell how the poisonous Xuanhe was insidious and despicable. Spirit of an artifact. The powerhouse of the Poison God Palace? It's nothing more than that. Today, I will use the source of the two of you as the proof that this seat has seen the sun again. The sound was extremely flat, but it made the killing intent of the cold air in the entire space soar. In an instant, the poisoned Xuanhe got up, and turned out to be roaring at the two in front of him, looking at the figures with scars on the two bodies in front of him, and even one after another with scarlet bloodstains emerging. His smile was extraordinarily hideous. The voice just fell, and with its footsteps as the center, a tyrannical poisonous mist erupted like a volcano, easily wrapping the entire wooden house in the void. Damn, such a strong source of venom. At this moment, the strong sense of suffocation made Poison Soul Sun realize what fear is for the first time. Die. Countless sources of venom rushed towards the two of them, and the void became distorted along the way, and broken sounds emerged. At such a critical moment, the void of the wooden house began to tremble slightly, and a green light spot suddenly poured out, and then flew towards the five-legged golden crow and the two at the same time. Crack. With a sound of Dingling's attack seemed to hit a stubborn rock, and it was smashed to pieces by the green light. Who? Get out of here. At this moment, a strong unease began to linger in Dingling's heart. His eyes were glaring at the void of the wooden house in front of him. The void twisted, and there seemed to be some obscure breath roaring. That kind of breath made me a little familiar, but it was countless times more tyrannical than before. More importantly, the spirit of the poison god cauldron could smell a trace of real fear from the green light spot. That is, the power of the poison god Xuanhe, the spirit of poison god cauldron. Stay safe. After the terrifying poisonous mist spread, the void in front of him wriggled, and the bodies of the three Xiao Yang were reflected in their eyes. How is it possible? You guys didn't die. Dingling's face was ashen when he saw the appearance of Xiao Yang and the three of them living together, and he was suspicious for a while. The poison mist pond below is a strange place where even he is afraid of 3 points. How could these guys be unscathed? Thanks to you. Now I'm back to deal with you. After Xiao Yang finished speaking, terrifying flames emerged, accompanied by a burst of killing intent, which actually made the entire space quiet, with a faint smell of being ignited. It's just 3 bereaved dogs. Dingling heard the words, but undeniably shrugged his shoulders and smiled, but his eyes stayed on the little medical fairy. It seemed that among the 3, this seemingly weak woman was the biggest threat. Go. I'll leave the rest to you. After Xiao Yang finished speaking, he directly detonated holy flames all over his body, then destroyed the wooden house and led Dingling into the empty sky above the wooden house. That poisonous fog pond, isn't it weird? I would say, why I have lived here for countless years, and I can't find the remains of the poisonous Xuanhe. It turns out that there is another mystery. Dingling didn't seem to be in a hurry. There was a sudden burst of secret joy in his eyes, accompanied by a sneer. His voice was particularly shocking. Don't worry, you won't have a chance to know. Nature's whisper, the seed of nature. At that time, Xiao Yang's voice suddenly became sharp, and then a mysterious purple flame slowly poured out of his body. Under the gaze of Dingling, it turned into a purple seed and fell to the ground. After landing, countless dense and abundant plants and trees poured out, replacing the deadly poisonous mist in the entire courtyard with a vigorous vitality. Trees and plants, innumerable kinds of the breath of nature rushed towards the face, and finally formed an ancient tree in the sky. Under the control of Xiao Yang, it burst out with an extremely terrifying wave like a poisonous snake. Looking at the ancient tree in the sky that pierced through the sky like a meteor chasing the moon, Dingling slowly raised his palm, stretched out his index finger and pointed at it suddenly. Ning. As soon as the voice fell, a mighty green beam of light converged from Dingling's fingertips at the same time, and then suddenly hit Xiao Yang's attack. The 2 attacks instantly froze in mid-air. Boom. Although the 2 attacks have solidified, there are still ripples of destruction around him that continue to overflow. This tyrannical power can't help but make people feel some scalp tingling. Holy flames, see. Seeing this, Xiao Yang did not regret it, but the 5 kinds of flames in his body were gushing out, and then dripping down like raindrops, filling the entire space. The thick holy flame purifying the sacred aura was extremely tyrannical, even if it was Dingling. His face instantly turned serious. Poison transformation sky origin array, run. Seeing Xiao Yang displaying such a huge flame formation, Dingling didn't dare to hold back his hands at all. He snorted coldly, and the formations in the space made a piercing sound like gears running. The endless green poisonous mist overflowed from the space, and then entangled with Xiao Yang's holy flame sea. The void trembled, and a long-lost dryness came out. Oh, the poison transformation Tianyuan array can actually devour this guy's flame power? At this moment, Dingling was surprised to find out, and then his eyes moved quickly, as if thinking about something. The power of Sheng Yang is tyrannical. If he can absorb it, breaking through the current shackles is also a matter of course. Try this. Xiao Yang was as if nothing was wrong. 5 kinds of holy flames rose up, and then formed a splendid flaming lotus platform in front of him. The power of the flame lotus dais this time is extremely small, but there is some kind of power that is specially designed to deal with the cauldron. God of poison. Condensing the power of the huge holy flame, it easily concealed the fluctuations of the poisonous goddess. For a time, the lotus platform began to rotate, but at this time, on all the leaves above the lotus platform, strange lines that were almost pitch black slowly climbed out, covered with there was a very strange smell. Human, stay here forever. Feeling that the power in the sea of holy flames was constantly being absorbed by himself, Dingling let out a sneer, and the majestic poisonous mist was revolving, swallowing Xiao Yang away. But, damn! Xiao Yang hadn't had time to run the lotus platform, and suddenly this attack was swallowed up by the poisonous mist. He approached Dingling's body and stood there with a dignified expression on his face for a while, but there was a fleeting smile in his eyes. Dingling opened the corners of his mouth and easily swallowed Xiao Yang's lotus platform into his belly. A stream of pure power began to surge, flowing through his limbs, and even the strength that had been stagnant actually had very obvious touch. Ha ha ha. In order to pay homage to the few of you, today I will show you what a real powerhouse is. At that time, Dingling's body floated in the air, and then the crazy voice continued to surge. What are these guys doing? Looking at this scene, the 5-legged golden crow and the poisonous soul had extremely ugly expressions on their faces. Originally, the strength of Dingling was extremely tyrannical, but now it has swallowed up so much holy flame power. I am afraid this trip. Almost. Little Doctor Immortal. Seeing the arrogant appearance of Dingling now, Xiao Yang finally flashed a faint smile in his eyes, and suddenly roared at the figure behind him. Grumble. Xiao Yang's voice just fell, and the strange poisonous mist fluctuations disappeared cleanly, as if it was suppressed by something. A green flame slowly overflowed from his body, and then completely bound his entire body in the void, unable to move. This is the poison god. Suddenly Dingling's eyelids twitched violently, and he saw a familiar black stone from the center of the green flames. The son of poison, suppressing all things is the skill that the poison god Xuanhe used to become famous. Poison god Xuanhe, you despicable and sinister. Dingling's whole body slowly bloomed with green flames, and the crazy roar from the corner of Dingling's mouth also slowly poured out. Ha ha! Dingling, we have been together for thousands of years, but I never imagined that you are still so violent and arrogant. I remember the first time I saw you. Although your heart is violent, your nature is not bad, but with the growth of your strength and wisdom, it went against the path I thought. This time, it will disappear completely. A faint voice emerged, and suddenly the green flames actually formed the true figure of the poisonous Xuanhe, and when it was twisted, a green prison full of ancient mysterious fluctuations easily sealed the body of Dingling. This ancient fluctuation actually caused all the power in Dingling's body to become silent for a while. Feeling this deadly danger, Dingling's face finally appeared a kind of almost crazy fluctuation. The emerald green poisonous mist cage lingering out of the son of poison was enough to suppress and seal him. With the methods of Xiao Yang and the others, I'm afraid. Poison god Xuanhe, you are full of nonsense. At the beginning, you didn't have the divine weapon. If you didn't rely on the power and wisdom of this seat, how could you have such divine tools as the poison god cauldron? How can you sit on the position of the supreme poison in the devil world? In the green cage, waves of terrifying poisonous mist surged out, turning Dingling's body into an illusion, and then Dingling roared, his voice full of resentment. You may have merit, but in comparison, the sin is greater. If I keep you alive, it will inevitably cause even greater mistakes. I'm sorry for you. So, let's fall. The voice of self-blame emerged, and the phantom of the poison god Xuanhe disappeared completely, and the entire poison transformation heavenly origin array also began to crumble a little bit. The shattered power was all attached to the cage, causing the poison god Xuanha's body occupied by Ding Ling to instantly shatter, leaving only a cloud of almost green mist. That is the origin of Dingling. It's a pity to kill him like this. I'll see if I can strip all of its mind. In that case, this cauldron spirit, whose strength reaches the 5th level, should have a terrifying boost to you. Seeing the source of the cauldron spirit in the cage, which was in agony, screaming, and the power in the body was rapidly weakening, Xiao Yan frowned and said, "Okay." The little doctor nodded slightly, and then sat cross-legged in the void. The poison pill and the reincarnation seal were displayed together in the body, and together they suppressed the crazy backlash of Ding Ling. Holy flame, see, peel off. Xiao Yang took a deep breath, and then his palms were covered with countless ancient ripples. Immediately, the flames in the entire space suddenly became boiling, and the sacred aura blasted away at the cauldron in the cage. You, these scumbags. Even if this seat is dead, it will never make your life easier. Dingling 1 yuan, self-destruct. Ding Ling gritted his teeth and resisted the suppressing force of the poisonous Xuanha's cage. His teeth were buzzing, and it seemed that he would be completely crushed by the slightest carelessness. Coupled with the peeling power of the holy flame coming from Xiao Yang, the entire fog mass began to roll. With a sound, as the voice of the cauldron fell, an illusory small cauldron appeared above its foggy light group. When it appeared, the entire space was filled with a dead silence. This guy actually mastered the core power of Poison God Cauldron. Can't stay. The little doctor snorted, and the poison pill in her body instantly left her body, turning into a meteor and roaring at Dingling. When the poisonous pill poured out, the power of Dingling Tong was greatly suppressed. Destruction together. Ha ha ha. A shocking, terrifying low roar emerged, and the illusory little cauldron shrank violently, and then suddenly exploded. The thick poisonous fog, accompanied by the destructive power, completely spread, and just after it was released, it suddenly shattered the poisonous fog cage laid by the poison god, and circles of green energy carried the horror of destroying the sky and destroying the earth. Fluctuating, blasting towards Xiao Yang and others. The 10,000 poison sacred pill stood in front of everyone, like an endless and deep black hole, releasing circles of green poisonous mist, which actually resisted the most intense attacking energy. Deprive me. Seeing this, Xiao Yang's pressure was greatly reduced, and he held his breath just now. Crack. Blessed by the power of the three, the origin of the cauldron trembled, and the layers of scarlet evil spirits slowly turned into white mist and disappeared here under the baking of the holy flame. A minute later, the void in the entire courtyard was unbearable, and the power of thick poisonous mist remained, and the power contained in it was heart-wrenching, but the residual thoughts of the original Dingling position were also completely erased by it. Only a cloud of nearly pure white mist remained. This is the origin of the cauldron spirit. It has been with the divine tool for a long time. It will be extremely helpful for you to conduct the divine tool assessment in the future. Take the opportunity to absorb it. Zana smiled sweetly, and then said. After the little medical fairy finished speaking, she nodded slightly to Xiao Yang and the others, closed her eyes and sat cross-legged, and the poisonous erysipelas were used together, and the bright suction continued to absorb the source of this fog. After saying that, the place returned to quiet. 3 days later, when the little medical fairy opened his eyes and spit out a strange poisonous mist from the corner of his mouth, the trip was completely over. Is this reincarnation? When little Dr. Immortal spit out a poisonous mist, Xiao Yang was keenly aware of some subtle fluctuations contained in it, and hurriedly said. Although I don't know the strength of the poison god Xuanhe, but at least it is the 6th and 7th reincarnation, his reincarnation must have a mysterious mystery that ordinary people can't imagine, but how long has it been before the little medical fairy has the reincarnation seal? Even after absorbing the source of the cauldron spirit and reaching the reincarnation so easily, it is indeed a bit of a blow, especially for someone like Xiao Yang who is constantly fighting and breaking through on the edge of life and death. This blow is too big, right? Of course, Xiao Yang also knew that a powerful person like the poison god Xuanhe, even if he stepped into the reincarnation by relying on his power, was just the beginning of the reincarnation. Sister Xiaoyixian, your strength has been promoted so rapidly, will this have any impact on your future? Zana stepped forward and asked a little worriedly. After all, Zana knew the mystery of the seal of reincarnation. Although this kind of thing is scary, it is not unreasonable that only reincarnation can understand reincarnation. There is one thing, but the situation is not optimistic now. It is also helpless for me to do this. In addition, we practice poison art, and we don't rely too much on strength, fighting skills, etc. The only way we fight is poison, so don't worry too much. Little Dr. Immortal paused, and decided to speak in order not to worry Xiao Yang and the others. Well, this should be over. Let's go back and absorb the poison god cauldron. Even if that thing can't be controlled for a short time, it's an excellent thing in your hands. Xiao Yang opened his mouth leisurely and resolved this issue, but he felt a lot more at ease. Xiao Yang, Zuna, thank you. Xiaoyixian nodded, and then everyone returned to the poisonous fog pond below after some setbacks. They successfully put the poisonous cauldron into the body, relying on Xiaoyixian's induction. If they want to perform the artifact assessment, I am afraid one's own strength needs to reach around the 4th level. But the most urgent task now is not the divine weapon, but the poison god palace. After solving this matter, everyone breathed a sigh of relief. Please, Senior, take us back to the poison palace. I will become the 4th generation poison god. After the breath, Xiaoyixian spoke to the poisonous soul beside him, and his voice was full of unquestionable majesty. Yes. Hearing the words, Poison Soul Z nodded with satisfaction, and his heart was filled with joy. With control of the poison god cauldron and the WN Po holy pill, this girl will achieve limitless achievements in the future, and may even become the next poison god. And by following and assisting her, after a long time, he will be enough to become the top figure in the poison god palace, which is what he dreams of. The poison god palace is located in the core area of the poison god realm, within a huge area called the poison god domain. The poison god Maya, where Xiao Yang and others left, is also a resident of the poison god palace. In the poison god domain, the void is different from anything Xiao Yang has seen before. There are poisonous and poisonous insects everywhere, and the power of the sinister poison is particularly powerful. These poisonous poisons can easily kill the enemy. The poison god realm is huge, but many buildings in the realm present a strange triangle, which is quite a three-legged situation. In this way, the poison god palace is divided into 3 factions, and there are constant internal battles between them. Since the fall of the 3rd generation of poison god, there has been no big man who can unify the poison god palace for a long time. After all, if you want to rule the entire poison god palace by one person, without strong strength and persuasion, it is difficult to convince the public in this area. Today's poison god palace has been disintegrated into 3 palaces and 6 gates, fighting with each other within each other, and once other forces in the poison ***** world attack, they will immediately put down their prejudices and join forces to attack strong enemies, internal and external troubles, such as stalemate for thousands of years. At this time, one of the 3 major palaces, Jingyu Palace, is located in the mountains. On an elegant mountain path, 2 figures stand in the pavilion. Their expressions are faint, and they seem to be talking about something. Poison Soul's sun has been out for so long, why hasn't any news come out? The election of the **** of poison is imminent. This time, there are some amazing young characters in the palace of the other 2 factions. Compared with the geniuses in our palace, we are a little mediocre here. In the pavilion, a middle-aged woman with a graceful face slowly shook her head, her face full of worry, but despite this, the fluctuations on this woman's body were not ordinary at all, and the fluctuations that were vaguely revealed were probably there is also a heroic figure in the palace. Palace Lord, don't be impatient, no matter who is qualified to run for the poison god, as long as they don't hold one of the 2 great tokens of the poison god, it's hard to convince the public, and the immortal elders in the palace stick to what they have seen and don't see it. If it is a token of the poison god, the election of the poison god is nothing but a contest among the 3 palaces. According to my subordinate's humble opinion, in our poison god palace, it may be difficult for a new poison god to appear in thousands of years. Poison god cauldron, 10,000 poison sacred pill, the 2 major poison god tokens have been missing since the fall of the 3rd generation poison god lord. If you want to find them now, isn't it so easy to find them, alas? Beside the middle-aged woman, an old man in green clothes in coarse cloth looked resentful. Obviously, when he mentioned this kind of thing, he was helpless. The poison god palace is 1/3 of the world. Without the leadership of the poison god, it would be difficult to become the top power in the demon realm. Moreover, the demon god realm is coveted by tigers. The Devil's Sword, I am afraid that the status of this devil world giant will be easily misplaced. The demon sword and the poison god cauldron are the real artifacts in the demon realm. Their power is terrifying, but they haven't appeared for tens of thousands of years. It seems that this matter can only be discussed in the long run. Go down and prepare. Even if our Jingyuagong loses this time, we have to lose with courage. I hope there will be no tragedy in this trip. Palace Master Jingyu spoke faintly, as if recalling some bad memories in the past, and her complexion became slightly ugly. In the past, The three palaces gathered to select the poison god, and each time they would provoke their own battles. This kind of thing was a great loss to the poison god palace. Palace master, something is bad. The poisonous girl from the Lungyue palace came to the door. It is said that she wanted to find the poisonous girl in my Jingyu palace to compete. She has come to the foot of the mountain. Many poisonous people in the palace have been infected with her strange poison. Comatose. And if she succeeds in breaking through the mountain, my Jingyuagong's face will be indifferent. The green figure hurried out from a distance, and then went outside the pavilion and said respectfully, Master Poison Soul is back. It seems that there are other powerhouses accompanying him, and the aura is somewhat similar to that of humans. For a time, another guard rushed out at the same time, and the two messages were alternated here at the same time. Palace Master, this. The old man was a little puzzled for a while. How did these two collide? Duyue, you go to the foot of the mountain to see that poisonous girl first, to stabilize the overall situation, and I will go to see the poisonous soul. Remember, you can't bully the big with the small. The voice fell, and the Mirror Moon Palace Lord turned into a green smoke and swept toward the space passage in the depths of the mountain mansion. The strength of the Palace Lord is really amazing. I am afraid that it will reach the real 5th level in the near future. It is said that if you reach the 5th level, you can enter the forbidden area of the Poison God Palace. I don't know if it is true. After the old man Poison Moon finished speaking, he followed the guards towards the foot of the mountain. When these things happened in the mountain mansion of Mirror Moon Palace, Xiao Yang and others also smoothly emerged from the quagmire of the Poison God and came to the mountain mansion where the Mirror Moon Palace perched. Damn! The power in the body has some twists and turns because of the battle with Dingling, and it did not directly enter the Jingyu Palace station. This is outside the palace, but it is very close to the palace. Poison Soul's face was pale, and then he barely showed a kind smile. This Jingyu Palace doesn't seem to be quite right. However, Xiao Yang ignored Poison Soul Sun's words, but released the power of his soul, and actually felt an extremely majestic and terrifying venom power not far away. It seems that someone has entered the mountain. The Poison God Palace was divided into 3 points by 3 strong men, Lungyue Palace, Yaoyu Palace, and Jingyu Palace, which I am loyal to. The mansions of the 3 major palaces are all located in the core area of the Poison God realm, standing on top of the mountains, opposing each other in a triangular manner. Climbing the mountain is a rule established by the 3 palaces since ancient times. Once the mountain is successful, they can claim a treasure in their palace for free. This mountain breaker should be here for the great immortal art in our Jingyu Palace. Poison Soul Child watched the poisonous mist rising in the distance with some vigilance, and said worriedly, Great immortal art. Xiao Yang and Zuna nodded slightly, but they didn't show much interest after all. This kind of thing seems to be only useful for those who practice poison. Xiao Yang, this great immortal technique is not a poison technique, it is a fighting technique with a fire attribute. This is. Senior Poison God Xuanhe took this opportunity to stole it from Xiao Lingshan, the goddess of war of the Xiao clan. Listening to the voice of the poisonous soul, the little medical fairy on the side first made a fiery wave from the reincarnation mark, and then the whole cheek suddenly turned red, like a burning cloud. This Poison God Xuanhe, I'm afraid it's not a fuel-efficient lamp, but this thing, maybe you can try it. Go and have a look. After Xiao Yang finished speaking, the 3 women and 1 man stood up together and blasted away at the foot of Jingyu Palace. The tyrannical reincarnation power caused waves of hot energy fluctuations along the way. The reincarnation of the 4, even in the Poison God Palace domain, is a rare scene. The mountains where the Jingyu Palace resides are a large area of green plants, in which there are many poisonous insects and poisonous beasts, but now facing this so-called poisonous girl, they can't express any anger, and can only stay quietly. On the side, he watched the powerful men in the palace who kept falling and fell into a coma. Humph. Could it be that the younger generation of the dignified Jingyu Palace are so capable? A sarcastic voice came out, and suddenly there was the sound of some figures falling. The poisonous girl of Lungyu Palace, Leng Qingchen. The rules of the 3 major palace mansions are also very simple, that is, to challenge the opponent's entire palace powerhouse with one's own strength, but the only thing is that those who are older than the mountain can't do it, otherwise the rules will be broken. This mountain breaker girl is Leng Qingchen, a poisonous girl with extraordinary talent in the Lungyue Palace. Now she has only practiced for more than 100 years. Although her strength has only reached the 2nd level of reincarnation, she has control over some kind of strange venom in her palace. Especially outstanding, deeply loved by many strong men in Lungyue Palace, and deliberately dispatched, for a while, No one of the same age in the Jingyu Palace who fought was unmatched. Originally, Jingyu Palace was the weakest among the 3 palaces in terms of strength and background. Now, the whole palace has become boiling with such a commotion, and many strong people who came to surround them are gearing up for their efforts. But where are the rules? Not bad either. Humph. Little poisonous girl, don't make a fuss here. Some figures kept uttering ruthless words, many of whom had reached the level of reincarnation, but he was too old to take action at all, so he could only watch from the sidelines. If the rules set by the Poison God Palace are violated, they will be punished by those supreme elders. Since there is no one, then I will start to climb the mountain. There are 100 steps on the ladder. After 100 steps, it is considered that I have successfully climbed the mountain. I have heard for a long time that there is a mysterious scroll in Jingyu Palace, and no one has successfully cultivated for a long time. The poisonous girl Lung Qingchen smiled slightly, and there was a terrifying and strange aura gushing out. Her beautiful eyes gently swept the group of figures. Her irony was particularly obvious, but this guy was wearing a veil, and no one could just see Fengrong. The poisonous woman lifted her ankles, and a trace of green mist lingered out, wrapping her delicate body and stepping directly onto the stairs of the mountains. The jade feet surging, and the graceful curve outlined is extraordinarily attractive. Obviously, this so-called poisonous girl has already been filled with deadly venom, and if she touches it accidentally, she may die instantly. Wait a minute. Just when the poisonous girl started to move, a faint voice came from the foot of the mountain below. The poisonous woman of Jingyu Palace? I don't know what to say. The poisonous girl Lung Qingchen turned her head, looked at the pale poisonous soul below, and muttered coldly. Poison Soul Sun's strength is naturally more tyrannical than himself, but with the rules of the Poison God Palace, Lung Qingchen has enough pride and no fear. Let me try it. Xiao Yang stepped out from behind Poison Soul, and the majestic fiery waves rolled out, causing a commotion. Humans of the human world? 2 humans. Poison Woman, you are breaking the rules of our Poison God Palace. Looking at Xiao Yang and Zuna, the poisonous girl Lung Qingchen instantly saw the anger in the human world that was incompatible with the Poison God realm, and suddenly said with a slight sneer. Yes or not, you will know after the fight. All the responsibilities, the old man is willing to bear it alone. The poisonous woman said slightly. Obviously now she can only put her hope on Xiao Yang and the others. The poisonous girl of the Lungyue Palace, have the courage to fight me. Xiao Yang's face was calm, his palm slowly clenched, and a dazzling glazed light flashed all over his body. This human, why can the poisonous woman be so sheltered? When she saw the glazed ray of light appearing all over Xiao Yang's body, the poisonous green mist all over the poisonous girl's body unexpectedly surged, as if she was afraid of something. Xiao Yang, be careful. Although the strength of this poisonous girl is only at the 2nd level of reincarnation, in the Palace of Poison, it is not a place to win with strength. Here, poison is the key to defeating the enemy. Right now, in my body, not only is there a lack of poison, but I also lack time to realize it. The little medical fairy approached Xiao Yang and said a little worriedly. Now that he has just obtained the holy 10,000 poison pill, the poison god cauldron, and the seal of reincarnation, he still needs some time to realize these powers, and now he can't help Xiao Yang. Don't worry, just leave these little **** to me. It's time for you to appear later. As for poisoning, I have a way. The relationship between Xiao Yang and Xiao Yixian is naturally unusual, so he doesn't care about this kind of thing. Humph, such an arrogant human being. To dare to say such arrogant words, it seems that I won't show you any color. You don't know how powerful my poisonous girl is. When the poisonous girl Lung Qingchen heard the words, she burst into a gloomy smile. Although Xiao Yang was a human being in the human world, and his anger was extremely bright, he still conformed to the rules of the Poison God Palace. Go ahead. Xiao Yang's expression was indifferent, and a glass-colored flame slowly burst out from his body, lingering on the palm of his hand. Xiao Yang knew that the venom in the body of a strong person who practiced poison art was tyrannical. Now that he started, he wanted to find one of the ways for the holy flame to fight the venom. After all, some venoms can even easily corrode the holy flame barrier. What's more, I actually want to harvest some poison from this poisonous girl and use it for the little medical fairy, although I don't know what magical effect she has. Court death. Facing Xiao Yang's appearance, the poisonous girl sneered, and gloomy poisonous mist surged around her body. She stomped her ankle viciously against the stairs, and immediately all the poisonous mist turned into a green lightning with a terrifying wave, shot at Xiao Yang. Congeal. Seeing this green lightning whistling, Xiao Yang raised the flame ruler, and then stepped across the ground, trying to resist. The flame ruler and green lightning clashed, and glazed sparks and green energy ripples spread down from the flame ruler, and even the flame ruler was eroded away a little by it. Burst. The poisonous girl's beautiful eyes looked at Xiao Yang with a little surprise. The flame power on this guy was extremely strange, and he was actually able to resist his poisonous mist, and immediately snorted coldly. Green lightning exploded, and energy ripples scattered out, covering the entire foot of the mountain. Human boy, those mists are poisonous, be careful. Looking at Xiao Yang's appearance, some of the onlookers in the Jingyu Palace couldn't help but say, "It's so uncomfortable. My chest is stuffy and I can't breathe." The soul power in the body seems to be imprisoned in some way. There is always a feeling of drowsiness. Is this the horror of this poisonous girl's poisonous art? In a few breaths Xiao Yang constantly sensed the mystery of the poison girl's poison art. The burning determination and holy flames surged together in his body, and the last small and delicate antler slowly appeared on his chest. Absorbed the poisonous mist that had penetrated Xiao Yang's body. How is it possible? This guy actually harbors a poison avoidance holy artifact. Looking at the delicate antlers in Xiao Yang's arms, a pair of greedy eyes suddenly locked on Xiao Yang. Very good poison art, but just relying on this is not enough. Bring out all your skills. Xiao Yang showed a strange smile, and immediately stretched slightly lazily, and said to the poisonous girl who was stunned. This girl, who can be the poisonous girl of the Lungyue Palace, must be relied on. Now, with this power, it is not enough to obtain poison. At the same time, Xiao Yang was also looking forward to it. Poison art and holy flame seemed to have some kind of subtle connection. This video will end here.